All right, good morning. How are we doing? It's a new week, it's a new day. Welcome to New York session. I hope you're doing well. Um, so I think there's daylight savings time going on. UK is currently 1 p.m. and I think it's 9 a.m. EST. So going forward, our sessions is going to actually come on at 8 a.m., which is London 12 p.m. I hope I'm getting the times right because this daylight savings, I don't know, it just confuses people, confuses myself as well. So we'll be doing our sessions at the usual time going into tomorrow and until the UK actually changes the time. Our time will be changed on the 30th of March. And that's when we change our time. So we are currently, I think, 6 hours ahead of five. Sorry, four. Yeah, 4 hours ahead of New York, which usually is meant to be five. So going into tomorrow, we will be coming here at exactly 8 a.m. EST. Okay, so for those of you that were expecting me or us here at 8 a.m., I apologize. I was sticking to my London 1 p.m. time, but it seems it's actually affecting those that are on the other side. So we'll come back to 8 a.m. going into tomorrow. So that's the quick announcement that I had to kind of let everybody know. Apart from that, it's the usual business. So let's get on to price action. Um, so yesterday I talked about potentially price dropping into this fair value gap on the 1 hour time frame. I highlighted it as red. That is where we're expecting the um, fingers crossed the low to form, and we can see they dropped down to it this morning. So this is why we don't like trading on Mondays, because whatever you do on Monday will be undone on Tuesday. Okay, so they've driven price down to that area. So let's see if we can get a rejection from there. So on the H4, we have one up candle and then these two down candles as it stands. Now, is it going to reverse from here? I don't know. Okay, we just wait for price to show us. Now I've highlighted quite a few levels that price can actually give us a reaction from. Let me see if I can get my lines back. There we go. So we've gone beyond the 618 and the 70.5 is right here. And roughly that is where the gap. But I don't feel that we are likely going to reverse from here. I don't think. It might just give us a bounce to go back inside the range, but not a reversal. Maybe the reversal will happen at the 70.5 and below. So there is another level or there is another fair value gap here that they might use All right. Just that for today, we might get some form of a reaction because price is not going to trade through that the fair value gap that happened in New York session some months ago. I think that was in October. I don't think it's gonna just trade through it, right? So we will potentially pause here, and then maybe an up candle on the daily might form. Then we might resume going lower. All right. If we reverse from here, great, but it's yet to be seen. So let's see what this New York session is gonna bring to us. Okay. With that said, give me a second, guys. Let me turn my Telegram off because it's just going off and off and off and off. Okay, done. All right, so let's see if we can get a push out of this. Now, if we are going to get that, what I will be interested in is for them to break this up candle. So watch this up candle here that formed just around in the European session right here. Okay, if we're going to go up, watch that up candle. Now, when I say up, I don't mean a reversal. Okay, I mean a retracement because it will just break structure and then give us a retracement relative to the big drop that happened last week. So that will be the point of, we call it a change in the state of delivery, right? So what's that up candle? If they can break above it, that is when you can anticipate such price action. Until then, you just need to remain to the downside. Right now, it's up to you whether you want to keep selling the dollar or quote unquote keep buying the pound and the euro. But since they've dropped significantly, sometimes price might not just continue to go down on the dollar. It might just give a pause or print a redistribution candle. That is why at the level that we are, you need to be careful if you want to continue buying the euro or buying the British pound, because they will potentially print one up candle as a redistribution. All right, so for the time being, I suggest for today maybe just scalp, because tomorrow we have the CPI. Maybe the CPI will be the event that will show what price is going to do going forward, whether we are going to reverse from this OTE level or we are going to carry on going down. Now, from a 3-month perspective, okay, from a 3-month perspective, we did have a change in the state of delivery here. Okay, we do have a change in the state of delivery, meaning we went up above this down candle. So on the monthly, that gives us a nice range. The only problem with this is that we do have this low and that low as equal. Okay, we do have this low and that low as equal. And from a bigger time frame perspective, this here, in my opinion, was a retracement. It wasn't actually going to go up here. It was a retracement because the actual range that we are trading in is this one here. It's this big one, this low to that high. We only came to 50% and then we got that push. So if this was a lower time frame in terms of fractals, let's say this was a 1 hour time frame. If this was a 1 hour time frame, I will anticipate price coming down here. Okay, if this one was a 1 hour time frame, that's where I will anticipate price coming, and then we go back up. Okay, so this will not be a range that I'll actually pay attention to use in terms of looking for a trade idea to go back up again. No, I wouldn't do that. But since this is a 3 months or a monthly, it will react. Okay, it will react to levels within it. That's why, levels like this, you need to be a little bit cautious about it, because if it's reacting off from here, it does not mean it's gonna go back up. It means it might just pull back and then we continue going down. So I'm kind of looking for this to continue going all the way down to come down here. That's the ultimate goal, right? So this week I'm only expecting them to pull back and then we continue going down. I'm not expecting it to reverse from here and then go up. That's the big time frame perspective. That's the fractal that I'm actually running with, or that's the script that I'm running with right now. All right. So over the period of the next 2-3 months, I want to see price continue going down to somewhere here. Okay. So that's basically the big narrative that I am watching. But it does not again mean price will not react in here, because it took out a low and then broke up. It can react in there, right? Okay, so let's see what this New York session is gonna give us. We got about 20 minutes, I'm sorry, 45 minutes before they start, which is that purple line. That's when you're gonna anticipate something on this pair. Okay. So that will give you euro to continue going up. So again, euro, the range is this high here to this low, and we didn't actually get anywhere. We only reached 50%. 50%, and that's where we had this pullback. So again, I think it's likely going to go all the way up. So this whole move to the downside, in my opinion, it's not a sell, but rather a buy, and they will come back up here. But again, it does not mean we cannot look for sells, because this is a big time frame. Price can pull back and then continue going higher. And I think maybe it's overdue a pullback where we are right here. The more reason why I think it will continue going up is this equal high. It looks too clean. Let me zoom in and change this to black. There we go. Right, you can see it's too clean. So that's what makes me think that price is gonna go all the way up, which is again opposite to what the dollar index might do. Okay. All right. So euro, we will be looking for continuation to the upside. We might just get a pullback from either above this candle's high, or even where we are now. We might get either a pullback from there. When it does pull back, we'll be looking for continuation to the upside. All right. Pound, same narrative. We go to the monthly, same narrative. We will get price to go up here. But again, when we get up into that premium level, which is somewhere up there, we will watch and then see, is it going to give us a rejection? Is it going to trade through it? It's not just randomly going to trade up. If it's not going to do it, there will be signs of it. Okay, so once we go above that, we will be watching. For this week, I think yesterday I gave you where to anticipate the low of the week forming, which was this gap here. It didn't quite trade to where I wanted. There was this nice fair value gap that formed in New York session, and funny enough, I had a scalp going during the New York session. It took out this high here. You can see we took out that high in New York session right there, and then rejected. So I think also on the 5 minutes here, 15 minutes, this down candle, and then I was aiming for this gap because that's where I wanted to see the low, the low lap form here. That's where I wanted to see them form, but it couldn't get there. Okay, which again is very suspicious, because maybe the CPI news coming in tomorrow, they might take it there. Okay, so let's see if they will use the CPI to take price there before going back up. And you can watch this down candle currently, because again they've taken out previous day's high. When we do have CPI news, they will keep pricing some form of a consolidation right before the news, and in a consolidation, whenever we take out a high, then price will take out a low. So watch this down candle. If we break it, it'll be similar to what happened yesterday. Sell this, target downside. Okay, so what I mean by is, if we break this, sell it, put your stop above it, and then look for a move back down, probably taking something here. But you need to make sure it breaks it first. You don't randomly go and sell where we are. Make sure it breaks this down candle first. Then you look for this as a objective, and then all the way down here, or just as a scalp, close everything here. Okay, but I'll probably take it to this candle's low. That's the landing session low. Okay. All right. Moving on. I think I have a few crosses that I would like to give to people to look at or look into. The Australian dollar Aussie CAD, Australian CAD. I think this might be the range for the continuation to the upside. It actually came to 70.5 and then rejected. So remember yesterday I gave you the high time frame narrative, and I said if you pull back, you're gonna look for a buy. That's what happened on the H4. Right. Yesterday during our session, price was somewhere up here. I said if you come back into that range, you're gonna look for a buy. So there you go. And I've given you the target. The target is on the daily. Ultimately, we will be looking for a move up here, but this high is enough. Or you can take something off here. they're all really equal high anyway. So this one and that one. So for now, that can be a short-term target. And then ultimately, we're looking for all these highs to also be taken. All right. But for this week, that is what is possible. So going back to the H4, this is possible for this week. These two upside objectives. Okay. And then it's sister brother, New Zealand CAD. I think I've already placed the ID over there. So that is also going up here. This candle, that level there. Okay, so again, we are looking for a continuation to the upside. Okay. The stop is at the 88.6 level. Okay. So those are the two, I think, recommended crosses based on the high time frame narrative. Okay. The rest, we're gonna leave them alone. Let's come back to gold. So gold, yesterday we had a drop, but remember I was saying the narrative is on the higher time frame. So that weekly high is still, even if we drop, this weekly high is similar to what happened over here when I was talking about the idea that if we have not touched that level, then that was last week here. They're gonna come back up. Is it this one? Yeah, this one. They're gonna come back up and then take out this high before going down. That was based on the daily. So the same narrative, right? The daily. I think it was here. When they left this high intact, I said that they will be coming back up to take out this high before going down. And that's what they did. It's similar to what is happening on the weekly. Right, this high here. Price needs to take out the high before dropping. Under normal circumstance, that's what price usually do. Or that's what price usually does. Okay. So I think we might be coming up to take out that high, and then we'll be dropping. So watch out for gold to go and attack previous week high, then we drop. As it's doing that, it's printing some nice bearish potential bearish pattern, meaning it's going up to come down. I like it. Right, so watch for the previous week high of gold to be taken, and then potential rejection to come back down. Can you buy it? If you want to, okay, if you want to, you can buy it, and then once you get up there, close it, wait for it to reverse, then you look for the sell. All right. Okay. So that's that for gold. Crude oil. Yesterday, it didn't pull back. I was expecting it to pull back to that area before we get back down to the target. So that it just continuously went down. Again, I've not seen any big move from an institutional perspective yet. I've not seen it. So I don't think this is a buy yet. All right. Actually couldn't even take out this low. So maybe he's gonna come back today. Let's go back to the 15 minutes chart. I think it's gonna come back. It might hit the same level, yesterday's level. Let me zoom in. Okay. I don't like this screen at all. Anyway, it might come into here, and then we resume going back down. Let me check. Did we take our previous day's low? Okay. Yeah, watch that last up candle here. Okay. Now, if they take it out, it might reject as soon as they take it out, because just above it we have a New York session fair value gap. So probably stop should be above it, because I don't like, placing my stop loss just above a fair value gap. This will just, it will just be like giving your money to smart money to take it. So this is a nice gap that formed in London, and this is a nice gap that formed in New York session. So both of them can work, but it can still take out this high, which is a London high, hit this gap here, and then reject. And so you don't want to really place your stop loss here. It's too risky. So place it above it, and then look for it to reject and come back down again. And then ES, finally, they did drop again yesterday, trading through all of this. Remember, I said I don't think they are buying yet, and they're gonna keep coming down. Close this one in, and that's what they've done. Now we still have room to the downside. I think ultimately they might take out this low as well. Okay, this one. Let me change this to OT. Yeah, that's the 70.5 area. But first, let's target this one, the 618. So next downside objective will be here. So that's 5539. That's the next downside objective. This one is done. This one is done. All right, so the next downside objective is here. All right. So this, again, New York session. Always look out for that session. Okay. That one, trade down. So this New York session, not this time. The next hour, you're gonna start looking for reasons for price to drop. So you're gonna start looking for selling opportunities for price to drop here. Okay. All right. So that is that for ES. I haven't traded it in a while because my student that I traded with is currently on holiday. I always look at it because of my student. I don't really trade it, but I kind of play with it when I'm teaching my student, because my student only trades ES, but she's not around. So I've put it to bed. That's why you don't see me taking any trades on it. If you see me having a trade on it, it's because I'm having a session with my student, and then I'll see a trade idea and then I'll take it. But if I'm not, then I'm not actually participating in any trade on it. Okay. I did have a scalp. Okay, I did have a scalp going on. Let me show you the scalp. This on a 5 minute chart, which is almost done. So very scary. That was the range. I shorted at the 70.5. Yeah. My stop loss was above that high. It almost took my heart out. It was very scary. So whilst I was having the session, I had one eye watching it and then another eye talking about this stuff. Right? Very scary trade, but let's see. I'm expecting them to go for this low. What is the narrative behind it? Or what is the quote unquote, what is the logic behind the trade? The logic is we run a high, we break down. That's it. So there's a high here, and then we break down. This way, this becomes a range, and price can pull back and then go and attack the range low. So that's the reason why I was looking for the sell. Okay. So price needs to attack this low, and then that's it. So this is a scalp. Okay. You don't look for more, you don't look for less. Once this low is taken, that's it. You move to the sidelines. Now, if I go on to the 15 minutes, you see how it looks like. If I go on the hourly, you see how it looks like. So what is the logic? The logic was based on the hour. This down candle. Sorry, this up candle. Price change, state of delivery. After taking out this high. So that's a London session high. And that's an example of what I've talked about 2 days ago. You want to pay attention to yearly highs and lows, quarterly highs and lows, monthly highs and lows, weekly highs and lows, daily highs and lows, and then sessions, which is H4. Okay, sessions, highs and lows. So this one here is a session high. That's a London session high. Once taken and then it breaks structure, that becomes a range. This same level could easily have been a daily high, and then we take it and then it breaks structure and then we sell it. As a matter of fact, I took something similar on dollar Swiss, and I'll show you in a second. All I'm doing here is just opening your eyes to the chart so you can do the same thing. Okay, so that's a session high. You run it on the lower time frame, we break down, that becomes a pullback, and then you sell. The same thing can be applied on any time frame. So up here you can put any time frame that you want. Okay, you put any time frame that you want. You can put 3 months, you can put 1 week, you can put 1 day, any time frame. Why? Because price is fractal. So I can be doing this as a weekly high, and then price will take the weekly high, it will break down, pull back, and then I'll sell. This can be a daily high, and then price will run it, it break down, pull back, and then I sell. This can be a monthly high, price will run it, break down, pull back, and then I'll sell. Okay, so this was basically a session high, and that's a H4 high. So session highs and lows are also good for looking for trade ideas like this, right? Let me show you the other one. I don't want to miss my TP, so as I'm doing this, I'm monitoring the trade at the same time. Let me bring that and go into the hourly and show you the other. Again, I'm not showing because I want to I just want to show you so that you learn from it. Okay, so here, that's Friday, so that's a daily low. So if I go into the daily, this is how it looks like. That's a daily low, one single candle daily, and then price will go and take it out. So once price takes that one out, drop down to the 1 hour time frame, and then we have the shift. So if you look at the other trade, which is the pound New Zealand, it's the same thing. This is on a 1 hour time frame. The pound New Zealand trade is on a 15 minutes time frame or a 5 minutes time frame. Right? This is where I talk about fractals. Okay, this is where I talk about fractals. So if you look at it, it's the same thing that I'm doing, but just different time frame. And that's what we mean by fractals. Okay, that's what we mean by fractal. So whenever you see any sort of pattern that resembles this, but it has to have one of these time frames attached to it. So you have to have a yearly, 3 months, monthly, weekly, daily, sessions. It has to have one of these. If not, it's not going to work. Okay, if it does not have one of these, it's not going to work. So bear that in mind, so that when you're doing it and it's not working, it means it's missing one of these elements. Okay, it's missing one of these elements. So I think maybe I'll show you a weekly one. Let me see if I can find a weekly one. And this can easily turn into a weekly one, but where we are now, that's not what I'm expecting. Let's do this one here. So that's a weekly high there. Okay, so that's a weekly high. We drop down. That's that one right there. Okay, so that's the weekly high. Then we break down, we pull back, and then we go down. So the same pattern, right? So weekly high taken. And remember what I was saying the last time. Whenever they are going to do that, you will see the sell or buy pattern very close to that level, this level here. So you see the run up and the rejection. That's your telltale sign that someone with big money was there. Okay, and then they reject it. It has to have this level. Either than that, whatever you're looking for, it's not gonna work. Okay, it's not gonna work, and it will not work because you are using a random high. Okay, you are using a random high. You need to use one of those highs, a period, 1 week, 1 day, 1 month, 3 months, 1 year, or a session. So bear that in mind. Okay, I think I've gone into a lot of details on this, so someone has learned something today. Let's go over to the crypto market. Starting with, let's start from the downside. Let's start from here and then go work ourselves up. So Chachki, we did have a rejection off from that, but I still think as long as this gap is still open, we are likely gonna come down here. So this does not change the idea unless we close above it. So if we close above this, if we close above 0.00000 lots of zeros, 0.4 zeros, and then 4046. If we can close above that level, then we will be coming somewhere up here. If we don't, then we will be coming down here. Again, this gap should stay open for us to come down here. If it closes, then it will be coming for this candle's high. So bear that in mind if you do trade. That's key. That's all. Wait. Squeeze. Let's drop down. I want to see if there's a potential scalp. So that's a day low. We've taken it, right? So let's see if there's a scalp on the 1 hour time frame. Indeed, there is one. So if price comes back, so the same pattern that we just saw on dollar Swiss, that's the same thing here. So if we come down, let's see how far I can go. It can go as far as this candle's low. It can go as far as this candle's low. Okay, it can go as far as that candle's low. So this will be a day trade / scalp. Don't expect too much because you might not get a lot. So buying here, when we come back above this, that will be a nice area to take something off. Then you leave the rest to go here. Right, that's it. That's all I can see for now on on Tatsuo. Okay, so don't expect too much from Tatsuo. I think we are still bearish, but this is potentially I would say day trade / scalp. So the same trade idea that I took here. Where is it gone? Right here. That's the same pattern you're seeing over there. So if we come back down here, then look for the buy to go up. And that's it. I took my profit right above this high, and that was it. And you can see, if we are in a downtrend, you don't look for too much. Now, it does not mean it cannot go up, but it just means that you are respecting the idea that price is actually dropping. Okay, so let's see if we can get this as a day trade for today. So watch it. Just give me 1 second, as my trade is about to hit my TP, and let me do the due diligence and close the trade. Done. There we go. That's it. Okay, that's how you do it. In and out. Okay, let's carry on. XRP. So XRP did come for it did come for the low. Now that's not February low, so this is February low. This is like mid February, or it's a low within February, so it's not the same thing. Okay, so this is not a monthly low, but it's a weekly low, so it's still important. On the H4, if we can break this high, then you have the similar pattern as, I think I was going to look for one to show you, but we do have an example here. So this is the last up candle prior to the weekly low. So running it, rejecting, pull back, then you buy. That's it. If you don't break it, don't do anything. And this was always likely going to do what it's doing because of this. Why? Because anytime price takes out a higher resistance, price is likely going to reject. So because this low and this high, this low and this low, it's high resistance. That is why you're seeing this effect. So you can actually build a trading idea around this pattern alone. Okay, you can build a trading idea around this pattern alone. Why? Because you can build a strategy that can help you only. Remember, trading is all about probabilities. It's not about being right or being wrong. Okay, it's not about being right or being wrong. It's all about probabilities. So if you can identify high probability patterns or high probability ideas, that is all you need. Okay, so in this case right here, anytime you see a high resistance, a high and high, or a low and a low, like that, so a high and a high will be maybe like this. So you have one high here and then another high here, and the price will go down. If price is approaching the high, you want to look for it to reject, right? And you can build, I won't say build, you can backtest it to the point that you have a very good pattern, because everybody trades different. I will look for maybe a 1 hour auto block to form, or maybe a 1 hour fair value gap to form. You might just use a hammer, right? This is a hammer, right? So if it forms a hammer, you buy the next one, or you can use, I don't know what, not something, but the whole principle will be built around this pattern right here, this one. And you can decide to use what I've given you here. Okay, you can decide to use what I've given you here. What is it? the daily highs and lows, weekly highs and lows, monthly. So this low should be at least either a daily or a weekly. Okay, so when this high is running this high and it's rejecting, this high needs to be a daily high, a weekly high, a monthly high. You get the idea. All right. I should have kept some of my profit in it. It's now running down aggressively. It's a scalp. Okay. So as I was saying, you can build an idea around this. Why? Because this high, if it's definitely one of these 3 months high, then there will be a rejection. But just wait for some form of a pattern to form above it, and then you look for the rejection to form. So again, you can look for a hammer, you can look for I won't say a doji, a hammer will be a good one, an auto block or a fair value gap, right? Something bearish up here, and you look to sell it to come back down, right? There you go. So watch this app candle. If we break it, then you can do the same thing. Look for retracement and then buy it. When you're buying, measure this range, target 50%. Okay, if you're buying, measure this range, target 50%. Then you can leave something maybe for this high as well. Hype. I think yesterday I was saying they will come for this level, and then that will be it. From my perspective, we should be rejecting. It's either they move from here or there, and that's where it's looked like it's rejecting from. So on the 1 hour, let's see if we can find a buy idea. Yeah, only problem is the time of the day, but crypto's time of the day is not really a big deal. So buying, stop loss, and with this, maybe this high be ideal. This high, it might struggle in here. It might struggle because that is also a run above a session high, and then we broke down. So it might play a bit of ping pong in here, this high to this low, because they are both okay. So let's do this. This is what I was talking about. This is Monday, this is Tuesday. So this is a low, that is a low. This becomes high resistance. So because this is a daily low, all right, if price comes down here, which I don't think it should, but if price should find itself down here, you can look for a doji, a hammer. No doji, no doji, cancel, cancel, cancel. No doji. But you can look for a hammer or an auto block or a fair value gap to form here. All right, and then you look for it to reject, and then you buy it. If it does come down here, which I don't think it should, because that's the whole idea. This is a high resistance. I prefer this more than that one, because this is Monday's high, Friday's high, Sunday's high is this is Sunday's high. Yeah, here. So that's Sunday's high. This low is more powerful than that high. Why? Because this low has dipped into a previous candle's low. All right, this low here has dipped into a previous candle's low. So this low here is more powerful than that high. Hence, from an institutional from an institutional perspective, I think the high is likely going to be taken. From an institutional perspective, I think the high is likely going to be taking this one. Hence, if you're buying here, right, you can, I think, hold on to some of it to go up there and then even this high, right? But just be aware, like I'm saying, if they come for this low, then just look for the pattern to form down there and then buy it back up, because it will reject immediately based on the level that we are trading, okay, aka location. I think I've talked a lot about location. Based on the location, that's what's likely going to happen. Anyway, let's carry on. Ethereum, I am not a fan of this. I don't know why. I've never liked Ethereum, but they did trade below that, which was what we were looking for. Now, let me check on the weekly chart. Okay, we do have a safety net, the down candle on the 3 months. I think we are at a level that we should see buyers come in. Okay, we should see buyers come in. We've dipped into that weekly fair value gap. Yeah, we should see buyers come in. I personally don't like this pair. I don't know why, but it's just a feeling. I don't like it. It does not mean you shouldn't like it. You do what you want to do. This is my personal feeling. Okay, the rejection pattern is not nice either, because this should be big up candles. I don't see the elephant. The elephant came in from here, but I don't see them down here. So maybe the H4 will be a better one to wait for if they break the H4. The H1, I don't like the pattern on the H1. So it's up to you if you want to buy it or not. I personally say, sit. But it can go up, because at the level that we are trading, there's resistance. Okay, there's a weekly fair value gap. Sorry, monthly. There's a monthly fair value gap with a down candle right here within a 3 months. Okay, there's a down candle, and within that we have a gap. Powerful one. It's not going to allow price to go down. Okay, so it's either we will start pausing here or price is gonna go up. So watch the okay, I think we did have news event just come in at 2, which I don't know. Okay, it's called the JOLTS job openings. So let me see how it affected the dollar index. Okay, so you can see it's rejecting the dollar from that level. It's nice to see. Very, very nice price action. But I would have preferred it to be CPI to shoot it back up. Anyway, let's carry on. Okay, so Ethereum, we should see maybe a push to the upside, but again, I personally don't like it. Let's check Bitcoin. I think maybe Bitcoin will be much better, or maybe not. Yeah, Bitcoin is much better. Okay, I think Bitcoin is much better. Let's see on the H4. Yeah, so previous week low, the up candle. If we break it, great. You can look for the buy. But it will be short-term buy, not a long-term buy. Okay, so if you're going to buy, make sure that you're not going to be looking for big moves. Okay, it's just going to be short-term in nature. Okay, let's continue. The trade that I gave just skyrocketed up. The New Zealand CAD, right? It just shot up. The Aussie CAD just shot up. Heading for those TPs. I think the news was around the CAD, more on the CAD than anything. Okay, I think I've gone past my time for about 3 minutes, so let's finish it off. Wait for a break above this up candle before you do anything. All right, it's too bearish, so if you want to do it, as a matter of fact, it's more appropriate to sell it than to buy it, but we are at 50%. Okay, so it can go up, but if you want to really do anything, sell here, put your stop loss, and expect it to continue going down. That would be the best thing to do, right? Because from what I'm seeing, the narrative on the high time frame still prevails. We will be coming down here, right? The only problem is when we take out a low, you need to be careful going long. Sorry, when you take out a low, you need to be careful going short. That's the only problem. But if you are not scared, then do this, because that's where price is going. Okay, so I'll leave that one up to you. Yeah, I think this will be much better, but just keep an eye. Like I said, if it does break it, then you know what's up. It's just going to pull back and it'll come back down again. So look for that as a trade idea, because on the H4, these up candles are really powerful. And let me pull up my quarters and see. Okay, yeah, I think the sell will be more appropriate, so look for that continuation. Solana, same thing, look for the continuation to the downside. I don't think Solana is even worse. Look for the continuation to the downside. Let's see where it's trying to reach for. This low, that's the quarterly low. So this 3 months, that's the low. That's where price is going. So look for that as your trade idea for today. And then that, we are not doing any sell on that. Okay, do not sell it, leave that alone. It's either you buy it or you leave it alone. For those of you that are in long, just leave it. Okay, just leave it for the next 3 years and then you see. and magic is gonna happen anyway. So that's pretty much it from me. Tomorrow I'll be here, I think at 12 instead of 1. So I'll see you at 8 a.m. EST. Peace out.